So, when you think about job benefits, what pops into your head? Probably health insurance, right? Maybe a 401k? And yeah, those are the basics. But today, we're diving into a whole different class of benefits. These are powerful tools that go way beyond the standard package to support employees' entire lives. And in the process, they transform not just a company's culture, but its bottom line too. But before we get into the solutions, let's just ask a really critical question. I mean, when your team is struggling, with stress, personal issues, burnout, what's the actual real-world cost to the business? Because this isn't just about morale. This is about a direct hit to productivity. And the answer is, well, it's pretty staggering. $575 billion. That is the estimated hit to U.S. productivity every single year from an unsupported workforce. A number that huge isn't just a line item on a spreadsheet. It's a full-blown crisis, and it demands a real strategy. Okay, so let's unpack this $575 billion problem. This number isn't just about people calling in sick. It's about all those hidden costs that quietly drain a company's potential when its people really aren't at their best. And think about what this stat actually means in real life. 1 in 5 people. Just, picture your own team. Statistically, at least one person is dealing with something right now that's directly getting in the way of their work. This isn't some fringe issue, it's a fundamental reality of work today. So, if that's the problem, what's the solution? Well, this is where a whole new category of benefits comes into the picture. And these aren't just little perks. They are strategic investments in a company's most valuable asset, its people. They're called Accommodation and Enhancement benefits. And that word, enhancement, that's the key. These aren't just safety nets to catch people when they're falling. They're proactive tools designed to build an environment where people can actually thrive, both at work and in their life outside of it. Now, these benefits cover a lot of ground, but they usually fall into 4 main buckets. The goal is to support an employee's health, both mental and physical, help with their family life, offer educational opportunities, and even help with the practical challenges of just daily living. All right, first up, let's get into the tools that are designed specifically to support mental and physical well-being. Honestly, this is kind of the foundation of any really good benefits package these days. So the first tool in the kit is one you've probably heard of, the Employee Assistance Program, or EAP. Think of it as a confidential support system designed to help employees deal with personal problems that might be affecting their job or just their overall quality of life. And it's really interesting to see how they've evolved. EAPs actually started way back in the 1940s with a pretty narrow focus on alcohol rehab. But over the decades, especially after things like the Drug-Free Workplace Act in '88, they've just exploded into these comprehensive support systems we see today, covering everything from mental health to financial stress. But you should know not all EAPs are created equal. On one hand, you have what's called a referral EAP, which is basically just a list of contacts. But a full-service EAP, that's a whole different ballgame. That's where the company has a formal partnership to provide direct, confidential, and really structured support to its people. So how does someone get help? Well, anyone can refer themselves, but sometimes a manager has to step in. And there's a very specific, very important way to do it. It's sometimes called constructive confrontation, and it's critical to get it right. As you can see, the focus is always on job performance. The manager talks about performance, clarifies what needs to change, and describes what they've seen without ever trying to be a psychologist before referring the employee to the confidential EAP. Okay, the second big tool for well-being is much more proactive. We're talking about wellness programs. These are all about promoting and maintaining good health, both physical and mental. And the idea is to prevent problems before they even start. And these can show up in all sorts of ways. We're talking about everything from helping you set up an ergonomic desk to prevent back pain, to workshops on stress management, support for quitting smoking, and even these things called health risk appraisals that give you a personalized snapshot of your health. All right, let's zoom out a little. Because real support doesn't just stop when you clock out. The best benefits packages get that employees are whole people with complex lives. So this next set of tools is all about supporting exactly that. A massive source of stress for so many people is caregiving. Family assistance programs are designed to help with that burden, offering resources and support for both childcare and the often overlooked challenge of caring for aging parents or relatives. And one really specific and powerful family benefit is adoption assistance. This isn't just one thing, it's usually a whole package of support. It can include giving you information and resources, offering serious financial help for the high costs of adoption, and, this is huge, making sure new adoptive parents get that crucial parental leave. So beyond just supporting an employee's life today, really forward-thinking companies are investing in their future. These next benefits are all about growth. We're talking skills, knowledge, and long-term financial health. Okay, remember this number, $5,250. Under IRS rules, that's the max amount of educational assistance an employer can provide each year that an employee can receive completely tax-free. It's a really powerful incentive for people to keep learning and growing. And check this out. Here's a really fascinating new trend. Right now, only about 5% of companies offer any kind of student loan repayment help, but it is getting so much attention. For a workforce that's just buried in debt, this is an absolute game changer for attracting and keeping talent. And what's really cool is how flexible it can be. Companies can set these programs up in a bunch of different ways. You can do it as a pre-tax benefit inside a retirement plan, give it as extra compensation, make direct payments to the loan company, or even let employees trade in their unused vacation time to pay down their loans. So, when you put all these pieces together, you start to see a really fundamental shift happening. The old way of thinking was kind of punitive. You had a problem, you got punished. But we're moving to a supportive model, where the company actively invests in helping its people navigate all of life's challenges. Which really just leaves us with one final big question. For decades, we've called these kinds of things perks or extras. But in today's world, where the lines between work and life are blurrier than ever, have they become the new minimum standard? Is this now what it actually means to be a great place to work?